The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes, like Andy, need your support. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition, sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Here's Joe Concha.
Okay, let's bring in Annie Frey. She is the host of the Annie Frey Show. That's on 97 FM Talk, 12 to 3 p.m. That is Central Time, a little bit earlier by us on the East Coast. But since this is nationally syndicated, find Annie. Pretty easy to do online. Annie, thanks for joining us on a Friday night. You're usually clubbing at this time, and you took time off from that clubbing itinerary to join us, so we appreciate that.
8:30 p.m., 4 kids. They're all downstairs watching the Michigan-Illinois game. So, ILL, we'll see how many people I have said that way. Some toasted ravioli and pizza, and I'm upstairs talking to you, Joe. The clubbing days are long
Toasted ravioli. I've never heard of toasted ravioli before.
Okay, that is as St. Louis as it gets. There's a place called Emo's Pizza. John Hamm, St. Louis guy, he brings, if he goes on to a nighttime show, he'll bring Emo's Pizza out there. But you got to learn what toasted ravioli is. It's a St. Louis thing through and through.
It sounds very healthy. So that's Friday nights aren't made to be healthy.
We don't talk about that. That's not the point of toasted ravioli.
I wonder whoever decided that Friday nights is like an absolute carbs pizza kind of night, maybe because of Lent, maybe you can't have meat. And then that led to the only thing you really can't have is pizza, right? Did you give up anything for Lent, by the way?
I used to do that, and I just always kind of failed at it. I'm Lutheran, but we're very close to Catholic, so we do observe Lent and, Ash Wednesday and all of that stuff. So I try to have better language, but I need to keep trying.
Yeah, I've given up so much stuff. There's not much to give up at this point. I'll give up dessert.
On Friday nights. That's what I
giving
gave
up.
up.
Clubbing on Friday nights. Yeah, I asked my son, what would you give up? And he's like, and he couldn't come up with one thing he would actually sacrifice. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Exactly.
Oh, man. But anyway, let's get to the fun political stuff. So, where shall we begin? Let's talk hockey. All right. Your Blues won it a couple of years ago. My Devils haven't won a cup since 2003. Which, boy, time flies. It's suddenly 23-year drought. It's when did that happen? But all of a sudden, we do have Jack Hughes. We do have a very bright future, I would think. Let me play for you this clip because I think it's so awesome. Well, actually, I'll explain it because it looks like it was cut a little bit too long here. But basically, Jack Hughes was on ESPN, and he made a $100,000 shot live.
Of course he did.
Basically, yeah, of course he did, right? And that goes to the charity of his choice. What's that?
He's the golden goose right now. I think that's the magic of Jack right now. And I know I want to talk to you a little bit about Rapinoe because there is something so incredibly contagious about Jack. And I say this because I'm a Blues fan because I'm a St. Louis girl through and through. But I'm not. We watch a ton of sports. Hockey has never really been the one that I know really well and study. So it's I cheer for the home team. By the way, I think the Devils are in St. Louis tomorrow. So St. Louis is excited to see Jack Hughes in the flesh there tomorrow. But I looked it up. He's 24 years old. He's going to be 25 in May. And if he wants to run for office someday, he can run for office someday. This moment that he was thrust into, he has not missed a mark on just bringing people into the joy and the celebration of everything that is good about this. So many obstacles thrown in front of him, trying to trip him up. And he can't miss, just like that $100,000 shot. The man can't miss. It's exactly what our country needs right now.
Yeah, and it's so authentic, right? It's not like PR person gets to him and says, say all the right things. It comes from the heart. And this should be, again, I keep going back to like 9/11 when George W. Bush threw a perfect strike from the rubber at Yankee Stadium, Bronx, deep blue, and the crowd roared in USA, and it didn't matter whether he was a Republican or a Democrat. Like, everybody came together, and now it just seems like the left just craps on everything. They're just miserable people. And, let me play a little bit of the Jack Hughes clip here, because it's that good. This is cut number 12, guys. Cut number 12. Go.
Do you think you could have a little dangles and maybe put this hockey ball with this stick into that hole right there for a $100,000 donation to a charity of your choosing?
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Let's do this before we let you get on the road.
Off, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir. We'll use this one here. You're going to be up yon.
It's slanted a bit. Be careful.
Listen, I don't know if you're going to be able to handle this right here. Okay. Ball hockey. Did you grow up playing any ball hockey, or are you strictly ice? Hold on. Don't shoot yet. Hold on, please. We'd like to build the moment. Ooh.
Pat McAfee, by the way.
Got pretty good danglers there.
Silky mid-slap.
And this isn't a hockey puck, Andy. This is like a rubber ball.
A kick of destiny. Yeah. I think he said that to you when we FaceTimed you, right?
Yeah, he said he wanted to do a field goal kick, yeah.
He wants that. He wants one of those.
I like the way you boys are trying to angle it to more money. Okay, I do. I really do appreciate that. Okay, have you ever, is this seemingly an easy task for you as an actual hockey player? Because we looked at it and we assumed you'd be able to accomplish it, but not 100% sure because this is an abnormal thing.
I actually am nervous right now because this looks kind of hard.
Jack, you scored the gold.
But I'm on the Pat McAfee show. I want to make this shot.
There is not 26 million people watching. And that was the Olympic gold medals. $100,000 to a charity of your choosing if you're able to put that ball into that hole right over there. Jack Hughes, you've made your entire country proud. You've made all of hockey proud. And now you can win $100,000 to a charity of your choosing. Jack, put it in the hole.
Oh, my God. Never a doubt. Butter. Never a doubt. That's a nail gun right there.
Yeah, so we'll cut it off there, Tony.
Give me the chance. Let me do it. Like, he wants to shoot that shot, and he doesn't back down from it. What's more American than that?
Exactly. It's like on a concrete stage, and he's got to get it through like this little tube, and it's a rubber ball, not a puck, and right down the middle. Now, to your point before, because you brought her up, Megan Rapinoe, okay, goes on this podcast, and you want to talk about somebody who you absolutely positively would root against, even if she plays for the USA. And I kind of did during the last World Cup because she's just so utterly rude. But here she is, cut 11, guys. And this is Megan Rapinoe calling Jack Hughes a clown. Really, cut 11, go.
United States men's hockey team in their utter moment of glory. Childhood dreams come true. Once in a lifetime accomplishment. Sensational. Ruined it for themselves.
Ruined it.
Because they allowed themselves to be totally co-opted. Co-opted, yep.
Yeah,
by a clown. And now you're a clown. You look like a clown.
Wow. So I guess what Megan is saying here, Rapinoe, is that when the president called, they should have turned down the call, turned down the military plane, turned down the chance to go to the State of the Union, which it's not StubHub where you can just get tickets and just walk in. Like, this is something that very, very few people on this planet ever get to experience. And all because she said a couple of years ago when she was asked during a World Cup run for the women's team, are you going to the White House? And she said, I'm not going to the effing White House. And got all over MSNBC for that. So I'll let you take it from here. But boy, what a miserable human being.
Oh, she's insufferable. And I mean, 2 points. The first one's a cheap shot, but I can't miss it because she's the one who invoked the word clown. First of all, this is radio, so people don't know what she looks like. But when you see the clip, you're going to be like, she looks like a clown. She looks like, what is the music video where they wear all the red hats? The little cone red hats. It's like an 80s song, and I'm going to think of it as soon as we hang up.
It's you can.
She looks like,
you must have. Yeah, it's Devo. Thank you, Tony. Yes, Devo.
And she knew what I was talking about because it's true. And the second thing about the clown thing is she looks ridiculous. She wears purple hair all the time. She looks clownish in and of herself, but she's absolutely miserable. miserable. She's saying these guys who are having the absolute time of their lives, and America is soaking up the opportunity to chant USA once again. I think that every time you chant USA, it's like every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Every time you chant USA, Megan Rapinoe's soul just exits her body just a little bit more. Because when you look at her, she looks miserable. Why would you watch her on this podcast and watch her call these people who have captivated the hearts and minds of America on the left and on the right? Why would you look at her in her slow, labored delivery and be like, you're right, I'd really like to be on your side. You look like a lot of fun. Give me a break. She's miserable. And she could just be miserable. Just keep being miserable, Megan. It's fine. Just be over there and be miserable. We're over here. We're having a party. USA.
She makes Kathy Bates in Misery look happy. I mean, that's how that went. And here's where she's got some real, for lack of a better word here, balls to say what she said. Because remember, in 2023, when the Women's World Cup team, heavily favored, I mean, no one's going to come close to beating this team. They won 2 consecutive times, the Women's World Cup. And then it comes down to the shootout at the end, right? Basically, it's like a penalty kick, which everybody makes. And if they don't make it, the goalie makes some sort of insane save. And she puts it a good 10 feet above the goal and loses it for her team.
You'd at least have a shot that would actually, if the goalie didn't get there, it would go into the goal. And she choked. But now we know why. She didn't want to be a clown. So now it actually
didn't want to be a clown. Yeah, maybe that's it. But at the same, like, that is the lasting memory of her career. That miss, right? And so she went out like that, and Hughes scores the goal, and he's now the. I can't get over this. But Mike Eruzione, who I've met and is a good guy. He was on the 1980 U.S. hockey team, Annie, and we're talking to Annie Frey, the great radio host of 97.1 FM in St. Louis. Here is Eruzione going off on everybody who went off on the USA hockey team, and he does not hold back here. Cut number 10, go.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes, like Andy, need your support. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
Faraday presenta Ojos con Alergia y Picazón contra el jardinero. Y el ganador es Faraday Extra Fuerte. Para aliviar la picazón de los ojos por alergia, actúa más rápido y supera a Claritin y Flonase aún a las 24 horas. Faraday, adelante.
Some of these players were, criticized for saying something or doing something. But, if you go back to 1980, Walter Mondale was in the stands in the audience. And after the game, I talked to Jimmy Carter on the phone. Jimmy Carter called the locker room, and I spoke to him, and he invited us to the White House the next day. Right. And there was no negative press. There was nothing bad. Look, I've said this many times and probably put this on my grave, but other than being a police officer, a firefighter, or somebody in the military who protects and serves our country, there's no greater feeling than putting on a USA jersey. You're not playing for Boston, Chicago, New York. You're playing for your country. And when you experience that moment and have an Olympic gold medal around your neck and the joy that it brought to so many people, who listens to the other side? Who listens to people bitch and complain? Shame on you.
Exactly. Shame on you. Eruzione bringing it like he did against the Soviets back in 1980.
The last thing I'll say about it is that we have the perfect quote this week from the President of the United States when he looked at the people to his right, those Democrats who couldn't stand up for anything that was America first. And he said, these people are crazy. We have to get back to the place where we call out people who are miserable, who are crazy, we've spent decades now trying to kind of walk on eggshells, not upset people. You don't want to be labeled a hateful person, but look where it's gotten us. We got to get back to saying to the Rapinoes of the world, like, hey, you want to be miserable, but you look freaking miserable, and I want nothing to do with it. We're going to party. And just continue to be happy with the things that make you be happy and pursue happiness in other ways where you feel like you can be pursuing it. The left, they're a buzzkill around every single turn. It never fails. They're never happy. And, I keep asking myself, what would make them happy? What could possibly make them happy? You think Trump resigning would make them happy? They're going to be freaking out the second they realize that the vice president is going to be the president. Have you met J.D. Vance? lefties. Like, he's got a lot more years ahead of him, a lot more future ahead of him than Donald Trump. They'll never be happy. Let's stop trying to make him.
Annie, Gavin Newsom just said that this week, where he says, I fear J.D. Vance even more. Like, they're already setting it up that Vance will somehow be a worse version of Trump. Is really remarkable. You're right. Be the cool, happy, optimistic party. And I think that's what wins every time, right? You think of every slogan going back to Reagan in 1980, shining city on the hill. Or obviously, who else was it? Barack Obama, right? Hope and change. No, where's
Morning
that?
in America. Yeah.
Morning in America. That's
Hope
right.
and change.
Make America great again. I like Hillary's. I'm with her. Okay. That was it.
You got to be more specific about which her. She's a little inconsistent on that one.
Hey, can we do one more hockey-related soundbite? Because just to go back to the misery part. So Jon Stewart, who now does the Daily Show once a week, and it's kind of weird watching a 60-something-year-old guy still cosplaying like this 20-year-old snarky kid. It just looks awkward. Yes. And then he has a podcast also where he just looks completely and totally, to go back to that word again, miserable. Here he is going off on the USA men's hockey team for being, they're just too happy to have won this. They're sore winners. This is cut number 8. Cut number 8, go.
So I offer, it's very rare in athletic competitions that you see sore winners. But it does appear that America, while rightfully celebrating the incredible feats from the men's team and the women's team in ice hockey, it does feel incredibly personal that we're acting as though Canada is our long-term nemesis.
Dude, if you follow hockey, there's no more Soviet Union.
His podcast should be called 5 O'Clock Shadow, and they should publish it at 5 o'clock every day. It's just
you're right.
You need to people just lighten up. Lighten up. This is something to celebrate. Yeah.
And Canada is our big rival in hockey. They've beaten us in several gold medal contests over this past century. Obviously, going back to 2002, they beat us again in overtime. Sidney Crosby. Russia wasn't even there this time. So Canada, they were the favorites, and we beat them. And he's just they
can't
really treating them poorly.
This much celebration of the United States of America. They hate it. It goes exactly against what they normally stand for. And again, let them be miserable and let them keep talking about it because it repels people. So hopefully it'll repel voters as well.
Indeed. And somebody who repels people sometimes as well, Annie, and then we'll let you get going. This is going to be cut number 1, guys. Cut number 1. This is Roseanne Barr talking to our friend Piers Morgan, explaining what a woman is. Okay, this is Roseanne at Roseanne's finest. Cut number 1, go. Do we have cut 1? Thank you. No cut 1?
What is a woman?
Guys. Nope.
A woman is me. A woman is somebody whose breasts hang down to her stomach and who has a prolapsed uterus from giving birth to 5 ungrateful little bastards who have never had to work for a thing in their goddamn life. That's what a woman is.
Well,
I know
Annie, I'll give you the final word.
Of those things. 41, had 4 kids. I could get plastic surgery or do a handstand and everything would look the way it used to. Sounds like I'm on my way to being Roseanne Barr.
Wow. Yeah, you're like JD Vance, right? JD has a 4th on the way. I don't know how you do 4. I do 2, and 2 is... It feels like a heavy lift.
A lot of running.
But you're still playing man-to-man, but you get to 4, that's zone defense, and just, pray to hang on. But anyway, I'm being told we got to go. But Annie, thanks so much on a Friday night. No clubbing for us, but perhaps we'll, next time I'm in St. Louis, we'll do that whole, what is that, toasted ravioli thing?
Toasted ravioli. I'll send you some sometime.
Thank you, Annie. Have a good night and a good weekend. And this is Joe Concha. This is Concha at Night. We wrap this puppy up in just a moment.
This is the Joe Concha Show, weekday edition.
Joe Concha.
Sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
The Tunnel Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes like Andy need your support. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.